All right, well, our breaking news coverage continues tonight. An unprecedented announcement from President Joe Biden announcing today he will no longer seek re-election.
Illinois Congressman Brad Schneider is joining us now. Good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
All right, we know you're throwing your support behind Vice President Kamala Harris after President Biden did that. We've seen a rush of endorsements, but not Senators Durbin and Duckworth. And there's reporting that the state delegation has been told to hold back from reacting publicly. Did anyone tell you to wait before picking a horse?
No, I didn't hear from anybody. I was the first to endorse Joe Biden 4 years ago in the delegation. 10 days ago, thereabouts, I put out a statement calling on Joe Biden to do what he did today, which is heroically pass the torch to the next generation. And I think in so doing, he's united the party and is moving us forward to uniting the country and winning in November.
All right, so Congressman, as you just mentioned in a recent statement, you did say that the time has come for the president to heroically pass the torch to a new generation of leadership to guide us to the future. Why do you feel like Vice President Kamala Harris represents that new generation that can move the Democratic Party forward?
Sure. Well, look, Joe Biden 4 years ago made the call that Kamala Harris was the one who, if something were to happen to him as president, she could step in on a moment's notice and fill the role. That was a decision made 4 years ago. She has filled that role for the last 3.5 years. And I think moving forward, she is one who can bring the party together, unite the country, and make sure we continue to build on the success of the last 4 years of the Biden administration.
This obviously was very difficult for Joe Biden, and he still maintains strong support among the black members of Congress, the grassroots of the Democratic Party, some of the state party chairs, key figures in battleground states. What's the message then to people who feel a connection to Joe Biden, who didn't want to see this, who say he's Joe from Scranton, he represents us? I don't like how people pushed him out.
No one wanted to see this. And I said in my statement, I love Joe Biden. I think he's been a tremendous president. He's a true patriot, has served our country throughout his life in many different roles, senator, vice president, and now president. The 4 years of his presidency saw us go through a global crisis with the pandemic. He led our nation through that pandemic, and we have the strongest economy in the world. The world looks to us for leadership once again. I think he's passed transformative legislation. So no one wants to see someone succumb to the challenges of age. But I think this was the right decision for the country. I know it had to be a terribly hard decision. I don't relish this decision for him or for anybody for that matter. But he did what's right for the country. He will go down in history, not just as a great president, but as someone who had the wisdom to pass the torch when the time was right.
So, Congressman, the DNC, obviously right around the corner here in Chicago. How do you feel like the news today of the president dropping out of the race is going to just shift the energy of the convention? And also, how do you feel like the president is going to be received at the DNC in about a month?
Well, I think he will be received as the hero that he is at the DNC. I think he will be celebrated. His record of accomplishments will be celebrated throughout his career, but particularly the last 4 years. And I think what you're going to see is a Democratic Party that is energized, that is excited, and that is fully committed to making sure we defeat Donald Trump, win in November, and continue the legacy that Joe Biden has so well established over his time as president himself.
Many of your colleagues in close contests this fall called for the president to step aside. How relieved are people that the top of your ticket will be someone who, polls better than the president?
I don't know that it's so much relief. What I believe is there's excitement. Seeing the next generation step in. We have a president who has done extraordinary things, accomplished so much, who's now saying it's time to pass the torch. Whereas the Republicans have a candidate who is been convicted on 34 charges, is been accused and convicted on sexual assault, is facing more charges. When he speaks, he's lying. When he talks about his vision, it's a dark vision that undermines our democracy, sought to overthrow our election. The comparisons couldn't be more stark. I think what you're going to see at the convention is the excitement of what the Democrats have to offer. And what I suspect you'll see in the election is people rallying to that vision and the opportunity to move our nation forward in a very positive way.
So almost $30 million in donations have poured in today alone for the Democratic Party. Do you feel like this is just the beginning of significant donations coming in? And how does this reflect what you and other Democrats have been pushing for in terms of President Biden bowing out from the race?
Yeah, I don't think, these donations, these are small dollar donations. So it is thousands, millions of people from across the country excited about the transition from one generation to the next, excited about the prospects of Vice President Harris leading the ticket and uniting the party. And I think you'll see that excitement move its way across the country and into the down ballot races as well.
Congressman Brad Snyder on a day we won't soon forget. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Congressman.
Thank you.